It's recording. Is the audio on? Yeah. Alright, you can, well, be right here or something. Alright, you don't have to. Alright, we gotta figure out a way for you to get the car and me in it.
Well, I can't see what I'm filming.
Yeah, well, I need to see it probably more than you need to see it.
Okay, well, then you look at it, and if it looks good, then you keep it that way.
I need the whole car in it.
Okay, well, this person looked like they were gonna pull out, so.
You okay? You can
yeah.
see the grill and the lights and all that?
Mm-hmm.
You probably, hold on. It's a bad angle. Like this. All right. Hold it with both hands. All right. Can you see?
Mm-hmm.
Here we have the new addition to the stable. As you can see, it is a Land Cruiser 2024 1958 model. Okay, we got a killer deal on it at Beeman Toyota, and they gave us $2,500 off MSRP. So that's great. We tried to get the first edition and they said it was like $500 off, and I just couldn't pass up a good deal. And honestly, for the price, I think this is really the sweet spot in the range of all Toyota 4x4 SUVs, because it's financially similar to a TRD Pro 4Runner price-wise. This was $56,000 MSRP, and that is the cheapest Land Cruiser you can get. And compared to the top of the line, which is like 75, they can go up to 77. It's really the same vehicle. You know, you're not getting the leather seats, you're not getting the sunroof, but other than that, I don't really miss anything else out of the vehicle, and I really don't like those. It has heated seats, and it has the rear cross traffic alert. It has the parking sensors, heated steering wheel. Really, it's the perfect family vehicle, and you don't have to worry about it so much because it's not close to 100,000. It's half of that. So I think this is really going to be a successful product for Toyota and the space. So why did we get this? We had a Venza, and my wife is pregnant, and she's holding the camera, multitasking. And the Venza with the car seat behind the driver's seat at 6'4", I was not able to drive it. So if we ever had to switch drivers, if we were on a road trip and my wife is tired of driving, or maybe I drop my wife off and I have to take the car, I'd have to get out and take a car seat out and get back in. So with this, the car seat can fit back there and I can drive. And our dog, which when we got the Venza, he was a puppy. Now he's fully grown. He had the whole back seat to himself and there was no real space. So now we have him in the cargo area. So the question, usually my videos are out in the middle of some trail, doing some sort of off-roading. Why are we in a parking lot at a dog park? And that is because this is not gonna be our off-road vehicle. This is literally gonna be our family vehicle that we can use from time to time if we have to go to like a cabin or some sort of retreat, or if there's snow on the ground, which there is. And the best thing about this, why I really am happy we have this, is it has full-time four-wheel drive. So my wife doesn't have to flip between a switch if there's ice or snow on the ground. It's just plug and play. You just point and shoot. So some of the features, if you want to come closer, I really like this round headlight. It's reminiscent of the 60 series. Over there you see we have the 62. We just happened to park next to one. It's got the more squared out headlights, which the regular Land Cruiser grade has. I've always liked the 60 series. It's stylistically been my favorite looking Land Cruiser. My absolute favorite is the 80, obviously, because of its capability. But looks wise, the 60 is the one that is just the darling of all the four-door Land Cruisers. Of course, a 40 is just, you know, but you know, some would argue that's just a Jeep. the 60 series was really the first time I ever really saw a Land Cruiser as a kid, you know, and thought, wow, that thing's cool. So this has the lights as an homage to the 60 series. You know, we have the Heritage grille, which is wonderful. It's on all of the Land Cruisers. So that is great. And we had our name down for a GX, but ultimately that was so expensive, and a lot of the features like massage seats and all that, I don't need those. We don't need those right now. Maybe later, 20 years down the line when I'm, you know, 60, but right now at our age, this is more than enough. The mileage, the other reason why we chose this over the GX was the mileage for fuel. This is 23 combined, 25 on the highway, and it has no roof rack, and it's got the street tires, and it's actually getting that. So with the GX, we were getting 17 mpg, and I already have a Tundra, I already have the V6. If I need to do any crazy towing or anything nuts, that's gonna be the utility vehicle, that's gonna go off-road. This is just our family cruiser that has a little bit more capability than your average Camry. So it's good, actually a lot. But let's come on back to the back. As our family's growing in size, this guy grew in size as well. And he's a big boy now. He's about 70 pounds, probably 2 feet at the withers. And he was taking up the entire back seat of that Venza. And mommy and daddy are also large people. So when baby comes, there would be no space. So now he's back here, he's relaxing. When we stop, we can open up this hatch for him. You know, it doesn't have the roll down window like the 4Runners, but the other reason why we didn't wait for a 4Runner is because unfortunately the 4Runner is based on the Tacoma, which has a very low swooping roof line. While it may be the same width as the Land Cruiser and they're all on the TNGAF platform, the extra headroom in this is amazing, and that really is an essential for us. Come on around. Let's check out the head. All right, are you seeing? Okay. Can you see me get in?
Yeah.
Come a little closer. All right. You guys come on in. So, I'm a torso predominant 6'4½". Headroom is always dear to me because even in a 4Runner, 5th gen 4Runner, if there is a sunroof, my head is hitting the ceiling. But it makes me do stuff like recline the seat to get more headroom. But in here, y'all come on in, I can have no reclining at all. I can recline a little bit, but I have plenty of room for my head. It's great. I actually fit sitting up straight. So when we go over bumps, when you lay the seat back a lot, you're actually absorbing all the impacts with your low back. But if you're sitting upright, you're actually absorbing impacts how you're intended to. So I'm so much more comfortable. This is where I will be experiencing the Land Cruiser the most. And the reason why I actually like the 1958, because come and take a look at this. It actually says Land Cruiser, which is great. You don't get this in the other trims. So you're constantly reminded that you are in fact in a Land Cruiser. Now let's come on to the back. I told you how big I was. I can actually sit behind myself, which is really great. That is something that is invaluable in a family vehicle. I don't have to mess with the seat. I can get out of the front seat and I can sit in the back. At my size, that doesn't happen in all 4-door vehicles. So the other thing, come on in here, is one thing that the GX does not have, and I don't know why because it's a Lexus. It doesn't have the rear climate control. So it has heated and cooled seats in the back, but it doesn't have rear climate control. And so that is something you definitely want. You want rear climate control. All right, we have the engine starting now, which is great. We have autofocus on, yeah. So some of the little features here: automatic high beams, rear parking sensor off, trailer brake controller. We have a tow haul mode, drive modes. This doesn't come with multi-terrain select, but we're not going to be taking it on multi-terrains. It has off-road traction control, which I never use multi-terrain select in my Tundra. When I do use it, I can't tell the difference, so 8-track is fine. It does have the rear locker, and it has the center locker, and it has 4-low, and it doesn't have the sway bar disconnect, but we're not going to be disconnecting it. I'll edit. This has the 8-inch display with the volume control knob here. This is the one I'm used to in my Tundra, and it's more than enough. I don't know if bigger is better in this situation. You guys let me know in the comments. There is a digital display. It is not the full digital display. There's an auxiliary digital display on each side, which has the fuel gauge and the water temperature gauge for the radiator fluid. And there is Toyota Safety Sense 3.0, so it has all that stuff. So, auto distancing, cruise control, lane assist, and lane departure warning over here, and all that jazz. So, we don't have the cool box, but we have a lot of space in here, so we can fit a big old Hydro Flask in there, which is fine.
Shout out to Hydro Flask.
Shout out to Hydro Flask. All right. You want to pop the hood?
Sure.
It's right there.
Which one? I don't see O.
Okay, the engine is running. This is the first time we're popping the hood. Oh, it's a stick. All right, so since it's a stick, we'll just hold it. You want to put the stick up, honey?
Sure.
It's to the right. All right, and you put it where the arrow is. There you go. All right. So this is the 4-cylinder hybrid iForce Max. It only has one intake, so when it's the beater trail rig, we can put a snorkel on it.
Haha.
So
Beater trail rig.
this is so clean, and guess what? It's going to be this clean for a very, very long time. Look at this battery. Amazing. So lots of high voltage stuff. We got our washer fluid.
It looks
Man,
so pretty. I've never seen an engine that looks this clean.
Yeah, me neither. Mine's all dirty because I take it to all kinds of places. So 4-cylinder iForce Max, there you go. And it's purring like a kitten. All right, honey, let's get that stick down. Good. So good thing is you'll never have to get new struts. They'll never wear out because it doesn't have any. All right. There we go. Last thing I want to cover is, you know, when we go overlanding in the Tundra, we have this auxiliary battery to run the fridge. Well, here we have a hybrid battery, and there's a 2400 watt outlet. So we don't need that power bank or whatever system to run a fridge. Right here, check this out. 2400. Look at that. Look at that. That's awesome. So this is serious power capacity. This is really good. We could just throw a fridge back here and be done with it, and pick it up and move it. It doesn't have to be permanent. We're gonna go get him a dog bed so he can lay down, because he needs some cushion padding, but he loves it back there. He's getting some good space. So, good. Alrighty. This is the new family car that I don't really need to change out the suspension. We're not going big tires. We're kind of hoping that in 20 years it'll be like this. So we'll have one of these, you know, a Land Cruiser, kind of like how they're using this here as, you know, their drive around town vehicle. This will be our kind of like 60 series of the future, basically. So utilitarian, family vehicle, cloth seats, heritage styling, classic styling, you know, upright windshield, the whole nine. So we want to turn that into this, which means lots of miles, lots of memories, lots of drives, lots of happiness, lots of smiles. Kids grow up in this. Memories made. It has the mud flaps. It doesn't have the first edition mud flaps, but they're mud flaps and they function just the same. And we're going to keep the mud flaps on there, and there you go. If we ever have to tow something, we can. Say we want to do a family trip and we want to tow something. I mean, we have the Tundra to do that if we want to go aggressive, but if we just want to do regular stuff, we'll take this. So really good. And don't let me fool you like, oh, talking about the Tundras for off-roading, and this is not like, it's not that this can't do it. This can do probably more, even in stock form. All you'd need is to change the compound on the tires to like mud tires, and you're good. You don't need to change this at all to do all the stuff I do in my Tundra. But we're not going to do that. But it's great to have all your cars able to, just in case you have to do some sort of maneuver through an area that's not paved, or you have to get to an Airbnb or a cabin or something fun to do. Maybe you want to go kayaking or something like that, to have a daily vehicle that has some utility. We'll get a roof rack, we'll throw a kayak on the roof, stuff like that. So this is awesome, and it really reminds me of this, which is why you get a Land Cruiser. At the end of the day, you get one because of the heritage. So, and all that brings with it as far as the engineering goes. GX tends to have a little bit stiffer sway bar, because I think with the KDSS they were able to run a stiffer sway bar. So that's the feeling you have, where you feel like a GX might be a little stiffer, but this, because they're you know, specifically even this one, it doesn't have the disconnecting sway bar. It's probably got a smaller sway bar, so it's a lot more of a compliant ride. You really feel it on the potholes. I mean, you don't feel the potholes that much. You know they're there, but with the Venza it was getting a little excessive. So that's something also that we're enjoying a lot, is the ride in this vehicle. Something else that I discovered about this vehicle, the turning radius is great. We didn't have to do a 3-point turn, it just turned. So compared to my Tundra, the turning radius is really good because that wheelbase is so much shorter. That steering rack is really going a long way. So very nice. We're super excited. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll be posting more pictures of this on the Instagram. For now, we're signing out. I'm gonna do a little photo shoot next to the big brother over there, and we're good to go. Bye.